Hi there, welcome to another video in the Scriptcase Macros course. Today we're going to be looking at language, region, and theme macros as well as variables. So this is 3 different macros and 1 variable to manage language, region, and theme. So the first one is scGetLanguage. So this is going to return the abbreviation of the current language. And then there's a variable that does much the same thing, contains the current language, but might be useful in a different situation. Next is the regional settings. For currency and numbers, so scGetRegional, and then theme to return the current theme that's being used. So Scriptcase provides lots of options for these, and sometimes it's useful from a programmer's perspective to know which one is being used at the current time. So let's go ahead and get started with the documentation for this. Let's start with scGetLanguage here. So that's that first one, and then scLanguage here that does pretty much the same thing, but is a variable instead. So here's an example of how to use it. And they're all pretty much like this. You just assign it to your variable. It just returns the value of the current language here. So let's look at scLanguage as well. So this one is a variable itself. So you just put it in the curly braces, and then that'll get you the current language being used. So over here, I have a control application with just a simple name field. And I'm going to put this code in an event on validate. So when we hit submit, it'll pop up a little message telling us what language it is. So I'm going to create lang variable and then assign it equal to the value returned from scGetLanguage, like so. Open and close parentheses, and then I'm going to do an scAlert of that lang variable right there. And that's pretty much all you need to use this. So let's go ahead and run this so that we can see which language we're using. It should be English US, so EN_US is what it should be. So go ahead and wait for it to load and click OK. And there we go. There is our alert with the language being used. So that's how you use the macro. And let's go ahead and use this variable as well. So very similar, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this extra code here and just do one alert here with that variable in it. So we're doing alert of that language, the scLanguage. And let me make sure I put the semicolon there and go ahead and run this. So wait for it to load here, and this should pop up the same result that we saw before. Click OK on this, and wait for it to pop up. So same result just like we saw before. So that's how you get the current language that's being ran by the user. Now let's do the regional settings. So let's find that documentation, and we'll look at a second what those regional settings are. So scGetRegional, click on that. It's just the same way as language, except with a different macro, just assigns it to a variable. So let me go ahead and copy that code there. So let's look at what those regional settings are. So we go to Locales, Regional Settings up here at the top. And we can select here from all these different regional settings that Scriptcase supports. Let's go ahead and find English US. So let me find it here. There we go, English United States. So we have number settings, currency settings, time, date, and first day settings based on different regions. So those are regional settings. And then they're going to be abbreviated much the same way as the language settings. So let's go ahead and copy that line of code that I got from the documentation. So that's the regional settings, and then I'm going to pop that up in an alert as well. So let's go ahead and run this. And it should pop up something that actually looks like our language settings, but it is the regional settings this time. So there we go, click OK. And then English US as well. So it looks just like our language settings, except it's referring to our regional settings this time. So now last we need to get our theme. So let's go ahead and find that macro there under control, scGetTheme. There it is. Works pretty much the same way. So let me go ahead and copy this. And we're going to do it much the same way over here in Scriptcase. Swap it out for my regional settings here. So get the theme and then pop up an alert with that theme. Let's go ahead and run this now. And then click OK on this, and it should return our theme, which is something blue, I think. Yeah, sweet blue. So that's the theme we're currently using. So that's how you get language and regional and theme settings using Scriptcase macros.